Alright, so this is a rough cut video. Not going to edit it, shot from the cell phone. But this is our Mallard M32. And we were camping and we made the big mistake. We were staying right on the lake, perfect weather, and then all of a sudden we had gone to the bathhouse to get the family all showered up. And when we came back 20 minutes later, it felt like hurricane winds. It was just the awning, even though it was out, the top was kind of blown up and over. The wind was pushing the rails towards the camper, and that arm over there had just ripped apart. If you look at it, you can see the aluminum bent or ripped, and it's all just, you know, out of whack here. Been all out of shape. So luckily we were able to get it pushed back in enough and reel it back up so we could limp it home. But that night we researched online. I couldn't find the exact replacement part in a manual or anything for the Mallard M32. But after looking at the different designs online, we were able to tell that it was the right one on Amazon. I think it was like 400 and something bucks. Let's put it out a little bit here. And we ordered it the next morning, and it got here to the house the next day. So that's good. So shipping in one day. It was tricky to install. Definitely a two-person job. So we had it, I don't know that we did it the best way, but we kind of rolled it out and then had a ladder out here. And my wife held, once we, took the bar up there off the motor, she held it while I did some of the work. But essentially what we did on the this carefree design here, this bottom part where it's attached to the rail is just it's got these little bars that sit in the groove, so you don't have to worry with taking these off. This will slide right down and off once you get rid of the top too. So up here you can see that it's got this shock deal that attaches to the rail in the camper, and then it's got one up top here, right? And what we did not want to do is, because you can see all the adhesive in here when they attach this rail, so we didn't want to have to undo the screws and then try to peel it off, and risk damaging something like that with the adhesive. So what we did is we got the new part in. On both these sets, we basically, it had rivets here that look, these rivets just in place here. And on the opposite side of them, let's see if I can see one. Yeah, right here. So there's your rivet. And so on that side, you would just get a big drill bit and kind of drill into it little by little by little. And eventually it's gonna pop off, and then you can just get a screwdriver or something, a little punch, and that rivet's gonna come out. So we did, the reason I extended it too, because this shock here, whatever this thing is, I was worried that if I popped it out now, it's compressed, and I didn't want it to shoot up or something. So when the awning is pulled out, there's not as much pressure on that guy. So we rolled it out. We drilled this one out, then pushed it through, released this part. And then second thing we did was unscrewed right up in here, the motor from this, bar, pipe, whatever the thing is, that the awning wraps around. And that's where the second person was out here on the ladder and held that up. And from there, I was able to drill out this rivet and took, you know, the whole thing off. Then I just went back in reverse order and, you know, slid it on down here. We basically bought these screws here, Ace Hardware, stainless steel, right? And I just kind of measured, you know, I think they're like 1/4 inch, but don't quote me on that. You'll see on the sides of the hole. You can take the rivet here when it comes out. You can take it with you and get the right part, but we made sure we got stainless, you know, and, you know, screwed that in, then screwed the top in, and then, yeah, drilled on the motor up there. The other thing I did was I took, you know, I had a soldering gun and have done some soldering. So I joined, since the old cable is going to come out of your camper here, I'm just going to run up this bar that attaches to your camper and comes out right there. So about right here at this line is where I cut the old, and then I cut the new one, and then you know, left myself enough room to solder it up together. And then I use these little, you know, whatever they're called. You apply heat to them, heat shrinks, right? And so I did a little heat shrink on each one of those, the black and the red, and then one over the top of the whole wire there. So that is it. And now we're as good as new. I think, like I said, it was about 400 bucks to get that arm. I'm pretty sure what we could have done is we probably could have bought the cheaper left arm, because they look nearly the same. They might not be, they looked alike. I don't know if they are or not. They sure do look alike. And we could have taken the head off that old one and replaced the head here. Best I could tell, I didn't take it off, but I think he would just remove that screw that's, you know, right up in there, and I think it would come off. But we made the decision for just a little bit more money to go ahead and get the one with the. Now we have 2 motors in case one gets bad.